Timmy was a student in Miss Sparkle's class. He was a curious and imaginative boy, always daydreaming about adventures and far-off places. Despite his active imagination, he found it hard to focus on his schoolwork. Miss Sparkle's class was bright and cheerful. The walls were painted in vibrant colors, and the room was filled with natural light that streamed in through large windows. It had colorful posters on the walls. These posters depicted everything from the solar system to the alphabet, making the classroom a lively and engaging place to learn. A giant number line hung above the chalkboard. This number line was often used by Miss Sparkle to teach math lessons, and it stretched from one end of the room to the other. Timmy liked his classroom, but he wasn't very fond of schoolwork. Schoolwork was boring. He found it difficult to sit still and concentrate on his assignments, often gazing out the window instead. He would rather be outside playing with his friends. The playground was his favorite place, where he could run freely and let his imagination soar. Timmy's favorite subject was recess. Recess was the best. It was the time of day when he could forget about schoolwork and just have fun. He could play tag and climb the monkey bars. The monkey bars were his favorite, and he loved the challenge of swinging from one bar to the next. Sometimes he would even trade snacks with his friends. Trading snacks was a fun way to try new things and share his favorite treats. Recess was way more exciting than multiplication tables and spelling tests. For Timmy, the joy of playing with his friends and the freedom of the playground made school a much more enjoyable experience. One day, Miss Sparkle made an announcement. She stood at the front of the classroom, her eyes scanning the room full of eager yet anxious faces. "Class, we have a spelling test tomorrow," she said. The class groaned. The sound of collective disappointment filled the room, echoing off the walls. Timmy slumped in his seat. He hated spelling tests. They always made him feel nervous and unprepared no matter how much he studied. Big words with silent letters were tricky. Words like knight and gnome seemed to mock him with their silent beginnings. He knew he would have to study, but he didn't want to. The thought of spending hours with his nose in a book was unbearable. After school, Timmy went home and played. He turned on his favorite video game, losing himself in a world of adventure and excitement. He completely forgot about the spelling test. The hours flew by as he rode his bike around the neighborhood, feeling the wind in his hair. He rode his bike and built a fort in his backyard. The fort was his sanctuary, a place where spelling tests didn't exist. He was having too much fun to think about school. The laughter and joy of the day made the looming test seem like a distant worry. The next morning, Timmy realized he hadn't studied at all. He panicked. His heart raced as he thought about the spelling test that was just a few hours away. He could already imagine the disappointed look on his teacher's face and the teasing from his classmates if he failed. He didn't want to fail the test. The thought of getting a bad grade made his stomach churn. He knew he had to come up with a solution, and fast. Then he had a sneaky idea. He decided to cheat. It seemed like the perfect plan to avoid the embarrassment of failing. Timmy thought he was very clever. He felt a surge of confidence as he imagined himself breezing through the test with his secret weapon. He wrote all the spelling words on small pieces of paper. He meticulously copied each word, making sure they were small enough to hide, but large enough to read. He hid these cheat sheets in his pockets. He felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as he patted his pockets, ensuring the papers were well hidden. Timmy walked into class feeling nervous but excited about his plan. His heart was pounding, but he kept telling himself that everything would go smoothly. He thought he was going to outsmart Miss Sparkle. He imagined her being completely oblivious to his clever scheme. He couldn't wait to get away with his little secret. The thrill of pulling off his plan made him feel like a mastermind. He thought he was very clever. Little did he know, his plan was about to take an unexpected turn. Miss Sparkle passed out the test papers. Timmy took a deep breath and pulled out his cheat sheet. He peeked at the first word and started to copy it onto his test. He thought he was being so sneaky. Suddenly, Timmy felt a tap on his shoulder. He looked up. It was Miss Sparkle. She had a disappointed look on her face. She had caught him cheating. Timmy's heart sank. Miss Sparkle took Timmy's test away. He felt terrible. He knew he had made a mistake. Cheating was wrong. He felt ashamed of himself. He had let his teacher and himself down. Miss Sparkle talked to Timmy about honesty and the importance of trying his best. She gave him a second chance to take the test. And this time, Timmy promised to study hard and do it the right way.